Let us be clear, Joe.
A glass of Pinot Noir pairs well with meat, cheese, and for local voting rights advocates, politics. Members of the nonpartisan group Indivisible Las Cruces gathered at Amaro Winery to watch round 3 of the Democratic primary debates. Ahead of the forum, an NPR PBS NewsHour Marist poll found that Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren is gaining support with Democratic voters, but she and other candidates are less popular with voters overall. Former Vice President Joe Biden had the highest favorability among all registered voters, followed by Warren.
But for hard-working families across this country, costs are going to go down, and that's how it should work.
Founding Indivisible member Vying Beadle says Warren is her favorite candidate, but she also likes California Senator Kamala Harris as well as New Jersey Senator Cory Booker. She says she most cares about health care, immigration, and ending wars overseas. As for whether another woman can succeed where Hillary Clinton failed, Beadle says she thinks chances are better this time. Do you think a woman can defeat President Trump in 2020, given the fact that he defeated Hillary in 2016?
I think that a woman probably has a better chance of defeating Trump because as his administration has been going on, people are really starting to hate him. And I think that Hillary played it too close to the vest. I really think that Elizabeth Warren would have a very good chance defeating him.
Mary Jane Stofick, another Indivisible member and New Jersey native, named climate change a top reason why she moved to New Mexico. Stofick says while she really likes Booker, he hasn't had a signature moment that set him apart from other candidates. While she also likes Biden, Stofick says she's worried the 76-year-old frontrunner's time may have passed.
I'm not young, and Joe's older than I am, and watching him, if he was my friend, I would be concerned that he appears to maybe be a little too old at this point. And I hate to say that because I'm a senior citizen, but I wouldn't run for president right now. And that concerns me. However, I think like you've heard from most of us here today, we would vote for a garbage can.
Indivisible founding member Russell Record says he prefers younger candidates like Harris, Booker, and South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg.
Step one is appoint a Secretary of Education who actually believes in public education.
Records used to prioritize immigration and education, but over time, his focus turned to gun violence.
I am sick and tired of these clowns going out and getting access to military-grade weaponry and using it on our fellow citizens. No rhyme or reason, just go out and kill people. And I think the only way that we can actually do something about that is to, first of all, do the common sense things, background checks, universal, red tags, red flags. We need to do something about that. 30,000 people a year are dying because of this.
Mass shootings in El Paso and nearby Odessa killed more than 24 people and wounded dozens more. In response, former Texas Congressman Beto O'Rourke proposed a government buyback program of assault-style weapons during the debate.
Hell yes, we're going to take your AR-15, your AK-47.
While these voters may disagree on certain issues or candidates, they share a common goal, making Donald Trump a one-term president. Record says while he's aware there's risk in nominating a progressive candidate like Sanders or Warren, he thinks Democrats will win back the White House if they choose well.
I think that the Trump core will never ever grow. His supporting base will never grow. They will only shrink. He's losing the farmers because of his trade policy. He's losing the auto industry because of his trade practices. And now with his border wall and gutting a lot of the programs and priorities here in New Mexico, he's now alienating the military. So I think if we come up with a fairly decent progressive candidate, then they will probably win.
That same NPR PBS NewsHour Marist poll says 46% of registered voters think President Trump will win re-election. Beadle, Records, and Stofick all say they value a candidate who can beat Trump more than one who most closely shares their values. And all three think Warren has the best odds of doing that. But Stofick spoke out the most on who she hopes doesn't win.
Please, dear God, let it be anybody but Donald Trump. Honestly, I'm really involved. I'm a board member of Indivisible. I register voters. I do everything that I possibly can to try to change the occupant of that White House. If he wins again, I'm done. I'm old. I don't care. People don't care enough to try to save their own country. Then they get what they deserve.
Voters won't make that decision for another year. But as these Indivisible members gather at Amaro Winery, they hope that 2020 will result in a vintage year rather than sour grapes. For KRWG Public Media, I'm Michael Hernandez.